Right, I think this is going to have to be the last one that I make for quite a while on. Well, this one, I suppose this first section is to do with structures that we've been told that are either rock cut or natural. And this one in China, this, we've been told, and well, they've excavated this area, and it's to do with the so-called last emperor, and they've excavated this. And you know the story behind this, but it's this area, and the next image shows you better, but this thing looks built to me. I know I keep saying that, things built and everything's built, and I keep showing you, but everything is built, and everything's buried, and everything's built from the rubble from that, and I'm going to show you. But this thing here, there's stuff in here, and bolts and connections and bars and all sorts of stuff. This thing, these here, it might not have just been a structure. This could actually have been part of the roof. It could have been a huge dome thing, yeah, and this thing has just collapsed down on this. And that would be true if we could find out. They wouldn't tell you if there was more of these things underneath here, yeah, and they've just flattened them. The next image shows you more of what I'm talking about, that this is in fact a structure or part of a structure that's fallen down on top of, yeah. You see these, these could just literally be mud now, like I've been talking about, and the imprints of what once was, yeah. This is definitely a structure. This was above ground again at one time, and something happened and buried it. This has nothing to do with the tomb. It's bullshit. You can see things in here as well. There's something, this, I don't know how far this goes, but judging by things that I've been showing you, it could be an unbelievable structure. Now, what this was, I don't know. I can speculate all day, right? But we can't even make pottery soldiers like this today with our technology, right? But, what do they look like? They look like toy soldiers, don't they? Like what we used to play around with when we were kids, right? But it's the size of them, yeah? But when you're looking at the size of some of the giants and some of the sizes of these pyramid structures, right, in China, because that's where it is, then who knows? Anyway, that's just speculation. I did a video on this, you want to watch it. It's in Sri Lanka. It's a so-called lion temple. It's actually a dragon, okay, and it's got its wings wrapped around it, and these are its claws, okay, and its feet are down here. And I actually think that this is built. I think this is built as well. There's some other structures that's further away, but just again, this will be buried to unknown depths. But what do you think this thing is here? Do you know what it would take to build this here, this bridge thing, even with our technology? Do you know what it would take just to build that? But there's things in this that make me believe, and yes, I know it was a dragon, but I thought it was made like that and things added to it. But no, the entire thing could be built. This is its paw area, its feet, right? And this stuff actually encased the entire area. All these bricks have been built up to it, and this is all that's left. And it actually encased this type of material, which is on some other images that I'm going to show you. This is in China, and it's now a huge Buddha type creature, yeah. But it's built, the entire area around it is built, and we're talking huge mountain cliff sides here. No different to what I keep showing you. I'm going to put a link up here of my own video, so it's definitely going to go there, because I've touched on this loads of times. Because again, we're talking rebar, but these rebar things are on such a scale. Huge squares and holes where bolts and connections and bars and all sorts were, and it's turned into this material, which is a bit of, similar to Sodom, yeah, like Petra and other places, right? This is it, and all this area is built. This goes for miles, this. I'm more interested in this actually than this, because this thing has been made into this body since, right? Now, to do that must have been done by an unbelievable advanced civilization that wasn't us in the past, I can tell you. Just to change this into this would take, it's, look, you can't imagine, right? But what this thing used to be, it was something else. And you can see the imprint of devices and other connections and holes where something has been taken away and ripped out. Yeah, look at that, like, tower thing there. And this is built, this entire side, from, like I said, for miles, is built, and it's now collapsing on itself as it rusts away. All the metal rusts away, and this stuff goes soft, because it's, you know, it's quite soft now, this stuff, because it's not natural. That's why it's built. Again, you can see that these were probably huge towers or part of a machine. Yeah, I think it was a machine actually. God knows what it was. But you can see other shapes in this, similar to what I'm going to show you now, which is like these. Yeah. And then you can see where a different area has actually carved legs out of this and made the hands, right, the best they could. This shows you how they've actually managed to put this skin over this thing. But you can see how this entire area, right, and it goes up even further, is built. And it's collapsed in on itself, yeah, like a pack of cards, and it's just dropped. This is a completely different area, and I don't know what's going on here, guys. This is just unbelievable, but I've only just noticed the bottom bit to it as well, right? And all this in here is muck, or it's got imprints of stuff in it, but it's just turned to muck. But what is this? You can see squares, yeah, which is no different to what Giza looks like. The entire Giza plateau is built just like this, right? Everything is built like this. There isn't a mound, almost, and what appears to be mountains that isn't built, right? This is another area, and you can see there's what appears to be a jungle, yeah, and what you think is dirt, but under it, it's actually built in the same way that I've just showed you. This is a completely different area again. This thing is a massive structure, and it's fallen down, right? And it's built in the same way as I've just been showing you in China and in India and Sri Lanka. Huge metal bars were in here. You can see where it's corroding away further, and it's revealing things like this behind it. And all the lime and that runs out and creates a hard surface. Got no idea how far this goes down, but the entire area for miles is just level. It's level with this, okay? And this is obviously something modern. You know, this is the best stuff we do on human scale. Like I say, everything we do, we've learnt from the past. All these skyscrapers back here are built in the same way. Every single floor. This is an extremely ancient site, right? And everybody, independent, mainstream archaeology think that this is bricks, or, you know, half of them think it's natural. It's not. It's rebar structure, I can guarantee you, right? There's hardly any metal left in here now. It's just the imprint of, you can see it, right? But this is exactly how the Serapeum in Egypt is built. These huge oblongs, is what the walls of the Serapeum looked like before they started knocking pieces away. Exactly like that. If you go check old images, you can see where huge beams of metal and connections went before it all corroded and rusted away and fell down. Okay, this is obviously, and I used to think that this was machining of some kind. Yeah, it's not machining. This is rebar. No different to what I've just shown you when they were just building that skyscraper. Yeah, this is known as a quarry site in the megalithic community, right? And I'm the only person saying it's not. It's an ancient structure. It's a huge mountain, and you know, outcrop of mountains, and they're all built. They are all built, guys, I'm telling you. And there's holes where, you know, bars were, but it's mainly a rebar structure, and a lot of the lime has ran out of it, and that's why it looks red, because it's got a lot of sand of it. This thing is in Israel, right? I've changed my opinion on this. I think this is rebar structure. You can see larger pieces, which will be the surrounding structure, but this is known as the Bell Cave. Yeah, Bell Cave. And this thing's built, and it's underground, hundreds and hundreds of feet, and that's the, you know, when they hit the bottom here, it will obviously go much further, but again, it's built. This thing in China, this is what they, you know, what they call an underground city, right? I've told you, anything they say that's an underground city was above ground at one time, and they were huge mega structures built no different to how we build today, and it's all collapsed and fallen away and become buried. This thing in Kiev, well, it's like Crimea. I thought these were blocks actually at one time. They're not blocks. It's an ancient skyscraper, bridge, whatever, on unbelievable scales. And this is a rebar structure. You can see where bars were and all sorts, and it's all corroding away. Most of it's underground, but that's what you're looking at, right? This, the reason why this looks like it's rusting is because it is. It's another rebar structure, and that's how they're able to make another arch in there absolutely precisely, yeah, and why it looks like it's rusting. I know a lot of people won't agree with what I've just said and were just shown, but I'm telling you, that's what it is. This thing, I'm not 100% sure on this. Obviously we've all thought that this is machining of some type, but this thing looks like it's falling down as well, because that goes up there, and this wall looks like it's been shoved up this way, and it's dragged here and shoved this bottom out. I'm not 100% sure on this actually. I'll leave